Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Traders Brawl podcast. I'm Adel, the host. I'm so delighted today to be having Michael Coyle with us today, a guest speaker on our podcast. We'll be speaking about what he's building in Web3, but before we get to that, welcome if you are new, and if you're already with us, thank you for staying with us. We are a social media marketing agency. We are here to educate and have new guests on the show every week. And this week, we're having Michael to tell us about what he's building, which, as I understand, is a sort of a Web3 passport loyalty super app, which we'll get into. But I'm going to read your bio. So, from the outskirts of Ireland, Michael set foot in Dubai in the year of COVID, 2020. He is the founder of Portal, an AI-powered social finance app that is launching this month in Dubai, and as well as next month, October. Is a strong advocate for Web3 technology. He has you frequently met with me in networking events, but initially we met at the Bored Ape Yacht Party in March last year.
Yes, that was very, very good. So that, typically what I do, being from Ireland, is at the start of the new year, I went off alcohol for, I planned until Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's Day, but what happened then was the Bored Ape Yacht Party came up and I said I couldn't miss that. So I had to break loose. So I think that day, that was my first time having any alcohol in about, it was like something like 65 days, so I had maybe 2 or 3 too many possibly on the boat, but we still had a very good time.
I remember you there. I remember you that night. It was a good party. It was an after party as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was wild as well.
Yeah.
Packed.
But well, that was during AIBC Blockchain Week or before that? I think
it was before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was just around the time all the kind of crypto festivals were beginning in Dubai. So I said, do you know what? I'm actually just going to get the ball rolling a bit earlier here this time. You know? So anyways,
good choice.
Yeah, no regrets anyway.
Amazing. So Michael, tell us a bit about yourself. What is it you do, and how did you end up here?
So my background is I have an undergrad degree in business information systems from the National University of Ireland in Galway. So I'm from the west of Ireland. It's a micro city. I think it's Europe's smallest micro city with 120,000 people, but I'm actually from a small village outside of that which only has 2,000 people in it. But everyone in there is a great person as well, and they've all gone on to achieve fantastic things. I word myself very soon. But anyways, my background anyways, after I finished university, I was 21 when I graduated, and I set up a marketing agency. It's like one of the very few people in Ireland at the time running paid ads in social media. Oh. So it was a pretty lucrative space to be in at the time. And I think then in 2019 I moved to Barcelona for a couple of years, and then I ended up here afterwards for many reasons, obviously lifestyle, tax, and so on and so forth.
Of course.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. We used to focus exclusively on health and fitness, that vertical, but then we pivoted into Web3 and crypto in the 2020 and 2021 bull run.
Good choice. I mean, that's where it's booming. That's where NFTs started booming, I think, in 2019 to 2020. Yeah. And then
collapsing.
It went through many cycles, and now we're in a sort of bear market right now?
Yeah, well, like, the funny thing is it's a bear market, and on Twitter, or like social media in general, you'll never see as much bear sentiment as I have seen in the last couple of weeks. Even like after maybe the NFT collapse, or FTX, or like Luna, bar those 3 kind of incidents, I would say I haven't seen the timeline on Twitter be as bearish.
Right.
But that being said, you still got Bitcoin at like 58K, so if that's a bear market, that's okay, do you know?
That's all right.
And then on top of that as well, you still have like a lot of, like, Ethereum's 2,200, 2,500, around that range, or whatever it is at the moment. We're still pretty strong, and we have a load of adoption coming in as well. And even with stable coins, you've got like multiple different stable coins popping up. Even Ripple are launching their own stable coin now. So there's still a lot of innovation in kind of the bigger say projects, or like companies we'll call them, I suppose. But also then there's a lot of innovation from the smaller companies, like what we're doing here. And we're about 15 months in at the moment. We're still in startup phase. We've got an angel investor, and we're about to move on now to our token sale. Seed is closed on that. But that being said, I've been in the space now, and I've met a lot of founders. And compared to what you've seen well, actually, there's two verticals of founders and projects you'll find, of course, which are meme coins, which is like where all the energy has been going for the last while. But then you see some projects that are actually bringing Web3 into the Web2 world. And I really dislike the term Web 2.5 because it's one of the most overused terms out there. But Web 2.5 projects are actually driving adoption, and also you're seeing like a lot of them being used on a day-to-day basis now.
Just for context, just before you came to Dubai, what were you doing in Barcelona?
So basically the Irish weather is atrocious, yes. So I live in the west of Ireland,
right.
And that means the Atlantic Ocean is right beside us. Now, I'm not a geography expert, but I remember when I was young, I was told something by my geography teacher that rain basically falls first, the first place it falls in Ireland is where I live, yeah? So even one of my good friends, Richie Quinn, I'm not sure if he'll probably watch this podcast, but he was from Dublin and he moved down to Galway, where I'm from, and he had to Google rainiest place in Ireland because he could not believe the rain and wind from where I grew up. Turns out that area is the rainiest place in Ireland, and where he came from was the sunniest place in Ireland. And at the same time, it was still terrible weather for where he was from. So I was like, when I got the opportunity, I was like, hey, I can work remote, technically what I'm doing. I had overheads, I had an office in Galway, where I'm from, and I had like 8 staff at the time, but I was like, look, we can all work remote. And then I was like, yeah, I'll move to Barcelona. Unbelievable lifestyle, nice and chill. But then the other thing about living in Europe is sometimes it's too chill, and you gotta go to get into a city like Dubai, or like a place like Dubai where there's a lot of hustle and bustle,
I see what you mean. And you were still at the time running your agency, is that right?
Yeah. So and that agency is still running, of course, but all focus at the moment that is on Portal, because we're just coming into a pretty important part of the project.
Got it, amazing. And you set foot in Dubai in 2020. Was that during COVID?
Yes. So I've been on holidays here a few times. Yeah. So I was like, I like the experience of Dubai, but went over and I actually moved into the five pound for a month.
Oh, 5 pound?
Yeah, for a month. So I was like, hey, this is too good. So and during COVID at the time, obviously, it was like everything was kind of quiet and stuff, but certain places were still busy. So I decided then I'd like relocate here properly, and I've been here ever since. I think I've gone home to Ireland a couple of times, and obviously on holidays and stuff. I'm going to one of my best friend's weddings now in at the weekend. His name's Paul Power. He's getting married to a lovely lady called Amy Courage. So we're off to France on Friday for that.
Wow, brilliant. Yeah. And now, when we met, fast forward to when we met at the Bored Ape Yacht Party, at the time you were building what is known was Passport, that was it. And then you rebranded. Tell us about that.
Okay, so at the time, actually, when we were speaking initially, the plan with Passport was that we wanted to create an NFT with utility. So one of the things that really irks me about the crypto space is that there's 99% of projects or tokens launched have no utility whatsoever. Right. And a lot of tokens, I'm not going to say like utility tokens, but meme coins in particular and NFTs at the time were glorified Ponzi schemes.
Yep.
And while you could make money on them, yeah, fair enough. There was no need, everyone was just aping in and crossing their fingers they could get out at the right time.
Right.
And you're passing on to someone else. And from someone who has a background in technology, like I, as I said, did business information systems in university. I was like, the technology of the NFT is actually pretty bullish for the future. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I was in London once upon a time on a night out, I was actually, remember, it turns out you had to be a member of all the private members clubs, or even like just the regular clubs to get in. So like the Soho houses and so on. But I mean like the nightclubs. But anyway, what happened was, went up and I was like to 3 or 4 different bars and restaurants, and I was like, okay, looking for entry, and they're like, are you on the list? And I was like, oh, I didn't realize there was a list. And they're like, you need to be a member to get in here. So eventually what I did was, a friend of mine who doesn't look too similar to me, but he just said, okay, you can use my name, and here's the QR code they'll scan. So they scanned the QR code and I got into the club. And I was like, if that was an NFT, they wouldn't have been able to do that, because I got a screenshot of his QR code. I couldn't take a screenshot of his NFT. He'd have to transfer it to me. So that is like, verified on the blockchain. Therefore, it would have prevented me from getting in. So when I came back to Dubai at the time, I had the idea to create a member's card, we'll say, for Dubai, and call it the Dubai Passport, and stack as many bars, restaurants, shops, discounts and so on as possible on it. So you buy the NFT, your average savings is going to be, let's say, 10x of what the purchase price of the NFT was. So you bought the NFT for $1,000 and let's say you save 10% on your bill for food in some bar or restaurant that you go to every single year. And let's say the bar or restaurant that you go to, you usually spend $200. Multiply that by 52 is 10,400. Save 10% of that, that's $1,040 that you've saved, you know?
Right.
So then it actually makes sense to buy the NFT. But problem with that was, if you buy an NFT, it's like for Web2 users or people in general, how are you going to actually, if you're like, okay, this is an NFT, this sounds great. First of all, the term NFT at that stage was like, oh, I've heard bad things about that. And our plan, like I said, was to, it wasn't just to target the Web3 users, the crypto users, it's for everybody. It just happens to be a pretty good solution for memberships. But anyways, what we wanted to do then was, not what we wanted to do, if we wanted them to buy an NFT, to send them to OpenSea and say, connect wallet, purchase. I know you can pay with fiat on OpenSea as well, but that would have thrown off a lot of people. And I always use my friends at home, or like the guys that I know that aren't in crypto, and they're like, I'm like, can you do this? And they're like, no. And then I'm like, fair enough, then nobody can do it, you know? So what I said was, we might have to build an app and a wallet and so on and so forth, and then that's where the actual app began to be built.
Got it, I see. No, it's good that you saw a problem in the market and now you're trying to address it with a simple, seamless solution.
Yeah, exactly. So then the thing was, once you start building an app, you're like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. So if you download the app, the premise of the app was to have the place to have your NFT.
Right.
Then I was like, maybe you could create a social profile in it as well. So you create your social profile, and then rather than just having the ability to buy the NFT and like, you know, display it in there and get in, we'll say, at discounts to different places, what we decided to do then was to actually integrate all the bars and restaurants of Dubai, and globally as well. So currently we have over 2,500 bars and restaurants available on the app globally. And basically what we're looking to do now is, and also, sorry, not what we're looking to do now, we're also onboarding some of the bigger venues in Dubai here, and also the event companies too. So you download the app Portal, and it's essentially now a portal to the city of Dubai.
Got it, amazing. So, you know, the way I understand it is I used to have ClassPass.
Yes.
You know ClassPass?
Yeah.
We
I
get
have
into multiple gyms.
Yes.
Multiple classes and stuff like that. It's a similar concept, would you say?
It's a marketplace essentially. So like how it works is you download it, create your profile, and then once your profile is completed, you sign up like a dating profile. That's how it works. Images, a bit about yourself, collect your Instagram, but you can skip all those things if you want. You can be completely anonymous on it, because a lot of Web3 degens and some of our users want to be anonymous,
right,
which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you want to like integrate into the social scene of Dubai as well. So you download the app, you create your profile, and the call to action then is start exploring. So you click start exploring, and then you get three different feeds pop up. You get activities, events, and bars and restaurants. So now you're in Dubai, you've got your profile, you're like, okay, oh, what can I do here? So you're like, I can go to these bars or restaurants that are nearby me here. I can book this event tonight, or I can go and book, let's say, the jet skis or all the usual things you do in Dubai. One of the USPs that we have then regarding events, because the thing for me, there's a lot of B2C apps out there that they're just convenient, but they're not actually, like, fair enough, it's easy to book bars, restaurants online, but what's the main thing? You want to know who's going, that's the thing. So we can connect onto, let's say, on Portal, and then I can see, oh, Adel is going to Surf Club on Friday. Oh. And then I can say, oh, you're going here on Friday, and so on. Surf Club or a venue might be able then to onboard other users onto the guest list, and we can see who's on the guest list and so on if they're on public.
Got it. Interesting. Now, is there a selection process how you get people onboarded?
No, there's not, because initially you want to go selective, but there is like, you know, there are apps out there that are selected, but what we're trying to do is just onboard everyone, right, and it's not like a free and freemium model by any means. You can use the app completely free, and on top of that, every time you book within the app, we actually reward you with our token, our cryptocurrency. So basically our token, not our cryptocurrency, because obviously there's a difference, but the token is essentially like, there's a few different utilities of the token that I'll speak about in a bit, but one of the things is that within the app, to answer your question directly, is that we're allowing everybody to sign up. However, if you want to buy an NFT or the membership to Dubai Passport, there's only going to be a certain amount of them released. Plus, they're all numbered, like the way car registration plates are numbered, and then you can display that in your profile. So you'll be able to say, Michael Coyle, number 7 in Dubai, and we're actually going to be opening in other cities around the world as well. So you could be number 7 in Dubai, you could be number 22 in Dublin, and you could be number like 100 in London and so on.
I see. And how many cities are you planning to be located in?
The 3 cities we're actually looking at the moment are obviously, well, Dubai and the UAE, but we're also looking at Istanbul and Moscow because we have pretty good connections there as well. So most people, and of course I'll be looking at things closer to home, like Dublin. I think my city is a bit too small for this, but we'll also have London, obviously, is one of the cards, and we're also in talks with a lot of people over in the States. Like Miami is the premier destination, really. It's just the same style as Dubai, concierge-style cities. But the next 2 cities we're probably going to roll out into are going to be Istanbul and Moscow, just because of the connections that we've made here.
Got it. So walk me through the monetization model of this.
So what we do is we onboard bars, restaurants, events.
For free?
Completely free, but what happens then is if we send, like what a concierge will do, if they send a person to, a person, I guess, to a bar or restaurant, a lot of the time they'll get rewarded by saying here's 5 or 10% of the spend of their table. That's one of the biggest models in the concierge space.
Yeah.
So there's a referral, we'll say revenue stream, but then we also have the advertising revenue stream as well. So we, within the app, have DMs and we have push notifications. So bars and restaurants can go, or like just venues or our merchants can purchase a certain amount of credits from us. And then let's say it's a Friday and you're like, okay, let's say it's on Tuesday, after Tech Tuesday tonight. Now you're like, what am I going to do after this? So you open up Portal and you'll see that you've received an invitation from like someplace near your door tonight. Right. It's like, okay, because within our advertising platform, like Meta ads and Google ads, we've pretty much built a very similar offering to that based on the data that we collect. So you can see where if Adel has anything booked on a Tuesday, if he usually goes out on a Tuesday, what sort of food or drinks or whatever he's into on a Tuesday and so on. And then you'll get an invitation with 20% off or something like that. So basically these merchants that we have will also be able to purchase the advertising credits, but they have 2 options. They can pay in token or they can pay in fiat. Pay in our token, they get a massive discount. Oh. We recoup the token and then we store it in a doxed and vested wallet. So like that's why we remove the sell pressure from the token then. So I can speak about that in a second now because I have a lot to say in that. Yeah. But that's the second revenue model. And then obviously the other revenue models are when we do have our card that we're planning on bringing in, which is probably going to be November, December. There'll be transaction fees and so on there as well.
Card, your own card?
Yeah.
As in is it like a debit?
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah. So essentially within the app, you got social, lifestyle, financial. Okay. Social is your profile, and within your profile you can connect and chat with other users. Then you've got lifestyle, exactly what you want to do. So you got things to do like activities, bars and restaurants and events, and then you've got a wallet, so you can store and transfer your crypto into there. And then with the card, you can load your card and then go and spend USDT at the bar or USDC or any stable
like a
coin.
debit card.
Yeah, prepaid virtual card. Exactly. Yeah. So we don't have that live yet, but that's another thing that you'll only be able to pay for with our token as well.
Interesting. Really cool. Really cool. So I guess we'll now turn our attention into personal lifestyle. Yeah. Since we're already on the topic. So from a founder's perspective, yourself being in Dubai and coming from the outskirts of West Ireland. Yeah. How have you managed, and have you managed to stay sane in this bustling city?
Well, there's a few very good things, and the lifestyle in Dubai is brilliant. We'll call a spade. Okay, you can't complain about it really. So you got the best of everything is available to you here, and despite what a lot of people think that don't live here, it's actually pretty affordable as well. So some of the best gyms in the world here, you're talking about like the one I train at is TK MMA. Like that's better value to go to than the gyms in Ireland, and the quality of the machines, the quality of trainers, and everything that are there is like again more elite than what you'll find in Ireland or most European countries or anywhere really, to be honest. But one of the main things about staying sane is obviously training. So like what I like to do is train. I do 10 sessions a week. I take the weekend off, but I train cardio in the morning and I lift weights or box in the evenings.
Got it. So you train every day, or?
Yeah, well, Monday to Friday, yeah. And I take the weekends off, and I enjoy my weekends, let me tell you.
So you don't work on weekends?
And it's not that I don't work, I just like, I'll let the hair
take
down.
a chill pill?
Yeah, and I'll also, like, I'll track my calories Monday to Friday, like, religiously. But then when it comes to Saturday and Sunday, I'll know I'll be in a big enough deficit that I'll be able to enjoy myself and take the foot off the gas with food, drinks, and whatever.
Right.
So, but I'm 30 now, so as you get older, you do need to sleep. Yeah, sleep is huge. So basically now, a lot of my weekends, I might only make it out once a weekend when it used to be twice or three times.
Right, yeah. And as a founder, what's your day-to-day like at Portal? Are you on calls and meetings? What are you doing?
So we actually have very good routine in Portal at the moment. So our offices are in Marina Plaza, and I live in Vida Marina, which is like a 15-minute walk. So I wake up in the morning and I have a Starbucks below me, and then I also have so I just basically I wake up, get a coffee, and I go straight into, I walk on the marina into the office. So that's a lovely way to start your morning, first of all, yeah. And then when we go into the office, usually around 8:30 or 9, we've 4 people on our team in Dubai at the moment, because we're still in September, a few more arriving back. But go into the office, and what we do usually is just get the ball rolling with a team meeting at the very start. Yep. And then at 1 p.m. our tech team, which is remote, we have a call with them as well. So all our team sits on that, because we all I wouldn't say micromanage everything, but because of where we are, we're a small, nimble team, but everyone knows exactly what's happening in every facet of the company, we'll say. So when we go in there, and on top of that as well, what I usually do is I'll fast until maybe 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how early I got up. And then after that, we'll go over to the Marina Mall, and there's tortilla. And then
for lunch?
Yeah, double meat every time. Like. So anyways, yeah, we just, but that's Monday to Friday. And then usually up on the Saturday or Sunday, I've started training at 11 in one of the gyms nearby. Hopefully to get onto the crypto fight night card at the end of the year. Yeah, so anyway, we'll see what happens with that, but fingers crossed it'll happen. I know it's on next week in Singapore, so by the time this goes out, there'll be new champions there. I know it's a challenge, so I'll have to slide into a few DMs and call them out, I guess.
Really? Yeah. No, this is interesting, because I interview founders all the time.
Yeah.
In Web3 and outside of Web3, and they find it really challenging to find time to go to the gym. They find it really challenging to maintain a sort of work-life balance.
Yeah.
I wondered, what's your take on this? Because I like to debunk that theory.
I agree, 100%. So like, I think as a founder, I do a lot of I think every founder needs to research their industry, or just like at least know what's going on. In terms of like, just say consuming media like this. And like, there's one thing scrolling mindlessly and doom scrolling on TikTok and Twitter and so on and so forth. But if your feed is good on Twitter, you're actually picking up a lot of like interesting information there. Plus, if you want to listen to a podcast or listen to or learn anything, you're not going to be lying in bed or just going about being distracted. So what I do in the morning is I'll put on a podcast, or it's usually a podcast to do with what's going on in the Web3 industry at the moment. Right. Just a few of them I listen to. But what I'll do is I'll actually just get a sweat on, and like that's the most important thing for me. I can't feel like, if I start my day without getting a heavy sweat, I feel like groggy for the rest of the day. And like that's according to like the likes of Andrew Huberman and all the, biohackers that are out there now. They're saying that's what your ancestors used to do back in the day. They'd wake up and they're like, okay, we've no food, we got to go run it, we got to go find food. Yeah, so they're going hunting. So when you wake up,
there's no choice, is there?
Yeah, so like you wake up, that's why I fast as well. I'm like, that's where your body might. I know it's bro science to an extent. It may or may not be.
Yeah.
My younger brother's a cardiologist. He's a doctor, so we have a lot of conversations about this. But and he told me there's a lot of bro science in that industry.
What's that, bro?
Bro science.
Bro science.
Yeah, have you never heard that?
No. What is that?
It's like, I suppose it kind of came from the fitness industry in the 2012 to 2016 era, when everyone's like chicken, rice, broccoli and all this
yeah.
But it's just about when you wake, basically what I do is, if I can't start my day and nail my day if I don't wake up and I get a sweat on straight away. Right. So what I'll do is it's usually like, I wasn't running outside for a while, I'll be honest, but that's because of the heat, it's impossible.
Too much.
So I just start off my day with cardio, 40 minutes usually in the morning, and I just like get a heavy sweat on. But if I don't do that, then my day's like set off badly, and therefore it's an integral part of being a founder, in my opinion, because you have so many problems to solve at all times. So if your mind isn't pumping properly, you're going to get question, email, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc.
So many notifications.
Yeah, you're like, fuck's sake,
Yeah.
That's another reason about fasting too. I find my mind is sharper when I'm not thinking about food and so on.
Interesting. Yeah, I find it really overwhelming with the whole. In this day and age, when I signed up to become a content creator, firstly, and you must know this because you're a content creator yourself, I believe, or you're quite active. You were?
Yeah, not really. I'd say now.
You've been on podcasts before.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I'll mention is that I did not expect that I would get overwhelmed in the sense that one of the things I signed up for was, I'll be a content creator. I'll create content and create value for people. I did not know that I would make myself a target for online fraud, as in online impersonation. Which I've had so many impersonation accounts.
Even last week, I got a message from one of your accounts.
One of my accounts messaged you.
Swear to God, I knew it wasn't you, but I was like, I'm not even going to tell you because I think I saw it in your story already.
Right.
But it's crazy, like.
But just to say, this shows the gravity of how things have changed over the years thanks to the advancement of technology. More bots are coming in, and it's made a challenge for me as a content creator to distinguish myself from fake accounts, and also other content creators who use fake bots.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Oh, stop! I know. Yeah.
And that's one of the issues for me. Now, asking you as a founder, building this super app, there must be some challenges that you must be, trying to overcome as well. I think there's lots of apps out there that already exist. Maybe competition, like Secret Society.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't consider I suppose every app to an extent that's social is we could broadly consider the likes of Revolut, Instagram a competition too for us as well.
Oh, as well, because
well, to be honest, like one of the things that I would say about. Okay, so I'm not going to critique any other
Go for it. Here. It's fine.
But in my opinion, what we're doing is a bit unique because we have like males and females on the app. I know you can do that in most apps, but what we do is. There's also a small bit of dating on our app. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. So let's call it.
Count me in.
Well, I think honestly, it's like I was saying. So I'm 30 now, but if I was 21 or 22, the biggest question.
And single. All right.
Yeah, of course. Well, no, I know I'm happily with my lovely girlfriend.
Oh, there he is. You hear that?
But anyway, so
he's off the hook.
I think the biggest question that our apps actually answers. We've got Web3, we've got fintech, we've got crypto involved in our app. That's cool, yeah, 100%. And I'm a Web3 maxi, but like undoubtedly.
Right.
But one of the biggest questions, every time we meet, and I've met lots of funds. I'm not going to mention some of them as well because we've just actually actively just said, okay, I'm not interested in working with these guys because of their, I wouldn't say tone or their level of interest in what I'm doing, really. Because if you're not interested in what I'm doing, we don't need to take funds for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We're actually in revenue, already. We have very strong revenue models that are already outlined as well. But I always get the same thing from these kind of lazy funds. They're like, what is the problem you're solving? And I'm like, oh my God, did you not read my deck? There's 20 problems. Okay, well anyways, if you want me to make it very simple for you, the problem we're solving for Web 2 users, not Web 3, we'll just start with Web 2 guys. There's what's good to do tonight? That's the biggest question. So if you're in Dubai, you're spoiled with choice, yeah? Absolutely, you go to downtown, you go to Palm, you go to Marina, there's always unbelievable places to go.
True.
Food, drinks, anything.
True.
However, if you want to go out and let's say you just want to go partying or something like this, the most important thing for you to know is where are my friends? Where are my connections going tonight? So what you can do is we build a similar, not too dissimilar to what Snapchat have as Snapchat Maps, but you can see where your connections are if they're public and connected to you. No stalkery stuff, do not worry anybody. It's only if you're connected, and again, you can be completely private on the app. But let's say, if you're like, okay, let's say tonight after Tech Tuesdays, I leave and you're like, Joe, I'll get on to Michael, I wonder where he's going, but I missed your call. You're like, okay, where's this guy? And then you go onto a portal, you can see where are my connections. You can see, oh, he's just down the road there in that bar or restaurant. So then you're like, okay, that's where I'll go to or whatever. But the main thing is that you can see who's going where if they're on public. And then obviously, if a bar or restaurant, or let's say it's a club promoter, the question that they always get from their user or their customers are, a promoter's trying to promote some club night, and the person's like, is it going to be busy? And then they're like, they can show on our app the social proof. Yes, there's 20 very good-looking women going here tonight. Can you see? And then the lads are like, oh yeah, perfect. I'll go and buy a ticket for 2,000 dirhams. You know what I mean? So that's how it works as well, But
so it gives you an extra insight, a layer of insight that gives you distinguishes you from other apps. But here's the challenge. What about Meetup app? You've used Meetup app before?
I've seen the ads on it for social. I think I'm.
So I've used it before, Meetup, and it does show who are also attending.
Yes.
It does show X amount, even on Luma. Luma?
Luma,
app?
yeah. So I would say, I'll tell you what. I would consider us not like we've more features than Luma, okay, big time.
Yeah.
We've got a wallet, yeah, come on. Yeah. But anyways, and we've got a card coming, and we've got a lot of integrations. Luma's just events. We got events from the events perspective of Luma. They're like the LinkedIn events, we're the Instagram events. Do you know what I mean? So that's the let's say similarity there. But with Meetup, I think I've used them before. I definitely have seen the ad. There's a few of these. There's a lot of kind of new social networking apps.
That's right.
There's another one called Belong here as well, and even I know the guy that founded LinkUp that's planning on launching here was in the UK. It's 60,000 users too. So a lot of them in the space. But I think that from our market research and what we've done and testing users and getting feedback, and even at the end of the day, the app, I built it for myself back in the day that I would have been using it all the time if I was young and single. However, I'm happily married future.
Second time. No, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I can't wait for the features to be fully functional.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's the other thing as well. The most important thing is not to put the cart before the horse and say we're ready to go and do a huge launch when the app is like, you know, a poor man's version of what it should be. You know? Right. So we're like, let's refine it. And I like do the UX and UI for the app myself on Figma. Like,
oh wow.
Because I'm like, it has to look a certain way. Right. Eventually we're going to need like, you know, a very high quality guy to come in.
To do it.
Yeah, but like for the time being, I was like, look, we obviously got the base of it done, but I was like, I understand what we need to do here. And that's why I'm just like, you know, micromanaging that part for the time being.
Makes sense. Interesting. Curious to know, is this going to be like, controversial question. Is this going to be a rich man's app? Is this going to be only accessible to the rich?
No, definitely not.
So it's going to be affordable?
100%, yeah, because the thing is, well, there's lots of, like, as I said in Dubai, everything's like, a lot of things are affordable in Dubai, in my opinion. If you want to go out, well, a brunch, you can go out. For an Irish person, you can go to a brunch on a Saturday and get free food and free alcohol for 4 hours. So you're actually making...
Free? Is it free?
Well, sorry, it's 300 dirhams, we'll say, yeah.
That's all right.
But that's roughly 75 euros. And let me tell you this, any Irish man would spend a lot more than 75 euros in the pub for 4 hours in Ireland.
Yeah.
So it works out a bit better for us.
Fair.
But going back to what you're saying there, not at all, because the other thing about it as well is that we're not planning on just staying in Dubai. It might, because of where we are in Dubai, it might seem like, okay, this suits that style of user. However, everywhere in the world, it's the same thing. When I was a broke college student, I was like, hey, at 18 years old, where's everyone going tonight? You know, go on the app, you can see, it's like fair enough. And like I said, the other thing is we have the rewards that we provide as well. So it's like, you buy a ticket or whatever, you get rewarded in our token. And obviously then you'll be able to use the token for things in the app, convert it back to fiat or so on and so forth.
Right. Yeah, I like that system. It's an ecosystem of your own.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. So and you get discounts as well? Or?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So like, and the thing is, so one of our business models is we go to bars, restaurants, and we say, look, to be listed on the app, you can be listed for free, but if you give a discount, you're far more likely to get business. You know, people are going to book you if there's a discount. So they're inclined to give discounts then on the app. Our users like, okay, there's 20% off here, 30% off here, or I'll get 2 free drinks or free dinner here on a Thursday, etc., etc.
Got it. Interesting. More intimate question before we wrap up. How do you manage your time as a founder? You already talked about fitness, but as a founder who you mentioned already, you're 30, planning to have kids. How will you manage your time between work, fitness, girlfriend, marriage, kids, and so on and so forth?
Well, currently I went to my friends that I mentioned, Paul Power's stag party for his wedding, which is on this weekend. So stag party is obviously the bachelor party, we call it a stag in Ireland.
Yeah.
So, but we went with the stag, and when I came back, my girlfriend had bought a Pomeranian, yeah?
She did?
Yes. So she's like, I've got a dog. I was like, okay,
She just bought it?
Yeah. She's like, I was lonely, so I bought a dog. I was like, perfect. So that's already given me a nice introduction how to manage time, because the dog is only a puppy, so we got to look after it, like, you know. So Vania, she's a content creator. She's a TikToker and YouTuber, yeah. So basically, she's at home a lot and creates content at home and like shoots YouTube with the dog and everything now as well. But then I'll also be responsible for doing a lot of the dog things as well. And one of the funny things that we're experiencing now is house training, because the dog is struggling big time. I'm not sure if it's a skill issue or not, but we'll see anyways. But no, to be honest, like, to manage time, I think that like I'm not going to sound cliche here, but like working efficiently is very, very possible to do. And there's one thing you can literally allow the problem. Like I'm a big believer in, I think it's called Parkinson's law. Have you heard of that?
Parkinson's?
Yeah, so it's essentially that.
Parkinson's disease? No.
No.
I was going to say.
No, Parkinson's law is like a principle that is, I want to define this properly now, but essentially, let's say if you were a college student and you had 2 weeks to do an assignment, and you like that assignment would basically expand to fill the entire 2 weeks versus if you just took 2 hours to do it at the very end. So like I think it's like the size of the work increases depending on the time or something along those lines. But basically what it means is you just got to work efficiently. And I'm not saying that again from a cliche perspective because it is pretty cliche. But if you use box off time and even like Pareto principle, all these sort of things as well, Pomodoro timers, etc., all those sort of things, that's what I believe in. And like if you just work like that, you should be still able to have, like, you know, go to the gym, bring socialize with your like girlfriend or your friends, and be on the phone to your family on a regular basis and so on from here as well. Like.
Right. And so already right now, would you say you're overwhelmed? Or you're all right?
I would say if I was 26 or 27 in this position, like being the founder of a company that hopefully is going to go pretty nuclear, then I would say I would be a bit overwhelmed. But I think the good thing about where I am at the moment is that I've had a lot of tests of resilience and resolve in the last couple of years from a startup perspective, so things go wrong all the time, but and then you're like, okay, sometimes you feel like you're putting out fires, but the longer you're just putting out these fires, the more like you're like, hey, I'm not afraid of this fire anymore. Do you know what I mean? So like, that's pretty much it now.
So for me, if you were to ask me right now, if you were to have children right now, would you be able to give up time in the gym, give up time in the founder, give up time as an entrepreneur for your business, give up time?
I think kid at the moment probably would be a bit too fair, But within a couple of years, like I'm 30 now, so and being from Ireland, I want a big family,
How big?
Probably, I want 8 boys.
8 boys, my God, 8 kids.
Yeah, 8 sons.
8 sons.
Yeah. See, my girlfriend's Portuguese as well. It's going to be very funny now because I'm going to have the first Irish kid called Cristiano after Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So we'll see.
She's in agreement with you with the 8 boys.
We'll see.
I love that. I've got 2 Pomeranians, so
I've
got 2.
Yeah.
So I do. That has helped me become a sort of papa to dogs. I'm just a dog parent. It has taught me about patience and giving up things that I would normally do, because normally I just from straight from work I'd go straight to the gym. But as soon as I get home, I gotta walk the dogs.
Yeah,
they've been potty trained already. So
the good thing about the dog is they'll get you to do the cardio you don't want to do in the evening as well.
Walking the dogs. Yeah. That's
steps.
True. Steps in. Amazing. Wow. That is some serious alpha. Do you see yourself raising your children in Dubai?
That's a very good question, because I had this thought recently, and I think I will, to be honest, because although where I was raised pretty well, so like I have a very good family. A lot of my extended family are all from where I'm from as well. Both my grandparents were within a 40-minute drive of me when I grew up and so on. So I love Ireland. But I'll be honest, since I came here and I've seen the facilities here are amazing, and just the safety is just there's nowhere in the world like it. But then the other thing is that when I came out here, I didn't think, one of the reasons why I always want to raise my kids in Ireland was because I'm very proud to be from Ireland. We're very still in the area that I'm from is very steeped in culture. So, and like I said as well, like where I'm actually from is the Gaeltacht part of Galway and Ireland. Where
is it Galloway?
Galway. Yeah, so Ed Sheeran has a song about it called Galway Girl. I'll send it to you after.
I'll check it.
But anyway, but the thing is that we're very proud of our culture and we preserve it. But I came out here and I couldn't believe I started playing the Irish sports out here. There's Gaelic football that's out here. In
Dubai?
Yeah, and it's very competitive. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'll go down and keep fit. And the standard is very high, number one. But the amount of players is nuts as well. There's way more players here than there would have been at a lot of the clubs at home. The other thing then is all the schools as well. Irish culture, Irish language being taught in some of the schools here as well. So I was like, there's absolutely no reason not to raise them here. And of course, obviously this place just gets better every single year as well, and that's the bottom line.
Interesting take. I've had mixed opinions about raising children in Dubai. Purely from I suppose the heat is one thing, but also I think Dubai is a hectic lifestyle. Hectic but intense for them to grow up in. But mixed opinions, because I think it's less outskirty and it's less like greenery, you know, nature, being in nature. And some parents want their children to be in nature. But I see you've got a different perspective, which is a good thing, because
Yeah, for sure.
I think you've got everything here, basically.
I agree. And another thing as well is actually, this is a friend of mine, his name's James, he's Spanish, but first time I met him, he had an Irish accent, and I was like, oh, you must have some Irish blood. He was like, no, I just grew up here. And I was like, why?
Here?
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? He was like, oh, a lot of the people here are from Ireland, so we grew up with an Irish accent. I couldn't believe my ears. But I was like, this is brilliant.
Buzzing.
So I was like, sold.
Amazing. All right, then, before we wrap up, I do want to ask, so a message that you like to share with the audience in terms of, let's say your children ask you one day, Papa, what should I do? I have no idea what to do. What would you say?
Well, first thing I'd say is that, let me think.
No, take your time. It's a tough question.
I had one that I was going to say straight away, and I was like, actually, maybe not. But the main thing that what I think
do OnlyFans. No. I'm joking.
No, what I would say basically is that, well, based on how I grew up, there's always opportunities no matter where you are. And the main thing that this generation and the generations that are to come will probably have are the fact that the world, I read a book years ago called The World is Flat by Thomas Friedman, and it was just talking about the world when, like, how small it is now, that you could be living in Australia and the other person could be living in, I don't know, Ireland, but you're essentially like you're one phone call away.
Right.
You're like 24-hour plane away and so on. Right. But the main thing is that with the technology advances just in general, setting out with a career or starting off with a business has never been as, let's say, possible now.
Right.
So if you look even at how, like, I'm always looking at like on Twitter, you see all the young people that are setting up new businesses now, agencies in particular, like marketing agencies, copywriting agencies, email marketing agencies, so on and so forth. Once upon a time, like maybe 10 years ago, they would have been unheard of, but now almost everyone's able to do it. They're all side hustles. They're all making between 5 and 10K a month on it as well, like, you know? So there's so many opportunities now. So if I was giving a message, it's just to take those opportunities, because there's so many iterations that you can do. And if you do like fail and like mess up on a couple of them, there's always another chance around the corner.
Interesting take. All right, very good. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And Michael, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Amazing. Can't wait for this to come out.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll leave all the links in the description on the YouTube page. But for now, we are so happy to have a new guest and a new perspective on creating a super app, which I haven't had before. I can't wait to use it. I hope I'll be one of your first users.
It'll be out by the time this podcast comes out as well. Right. So we'll see where we are.
Stay tuned, everybody, and we will see you at the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.